Yo, what's up, guys? So in this video, I interview Cindy. If you guys enjoy this piece of content, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up. What's going on, guys? I have Cindy here. What's going on, Cindy? How are you doing?
I'm doing great on this beautiful Southern California morning. How are you doing, RJ?
I'm doing well, doing fabulous. We've been communicating a lot on Clubhouse, right? And
Yeah, Clubhouse
yeah,
is awesome.
we've been kind of going back and forth. And some people are like, RJ, are you gonna record this because I don't have an Android and I can't listen in? And I'm just like, it's only available for iPhone. I was just like, I know I have an Android too, guys, and I feel you guys on that because I had to go get an old iPhone to get on Clubhouse. But I'm not sure what you think about that, Cindy. What do you think about that?
I'm an iPhone person from
Mm-hmm.
way back. I'm a Mac person from the 90s, so I like to say I don't do Windows because I hate PCs. I love my iMacs and I have loved them for many years. And
Mm-hmm.
so for me, an iPhone was perfect. Oh, great. I have an iPhone. No problem. I'll get on. But I do have a lot of followers that were like, I don't have an iPhone. Can you give me a transcript of the thing? I'm like, well, we're not allowed to record them. It's just live. So it's very hard to get the content from Clubhouse and transfer it so that other people can see it. So that's a hard point. But it is in beta right now. So eventually I'm sure they will open it up to other phones, Androids, and
yeah, they're better. They're messing the market right there. And I think someone's
I'm
gonna
sure they
come
will.
in. Someone's gonna come in right there and take advantage of that if they see that opportunity. So yeah. So how'd you get started selling online, Cindy?
That's a very long story. So I started off as a software engineer. That's my background, what I went to college for. I spent 13 years working as a software engineer on the space station project at what was then McDonnell Douglas and is now Boeing. That's where I met my husband. And in 2002, I became pregnant with monoamniotic twins, which are very high risk type of twins, where they're in the same amniotic sac. So the cords get all tangled together and knotted. And it was super high risk. And so I just decided at that point to retire from my job as a software engineer and stay home with my kids. I had two older kids at the time. I know 3 older kids at the time. And that was fun for a while. But when they got a little bit older, the twins, I decided to start a scrapbooking business for twins because I was an avid scrapbooker. And at the time, there were no scrapbooking products for twins. So I created a line of papers and stickers and a bunch of other stuff related to twins and started that business. And somewhere on the line, I discovered Cafe Press. And so I started doing twins related t-shirts and mugs and stuff like that. That was probably, oh gosh, I don't know, maybe 14 or 15 years ago. It was a long time ago. And then at some point I got recruited over to Zazzle back when Zazzle first started to move my store all over to there. So I did that. And then I tend to get bored with things. And I started a photography business somewhere along the line, and kind of the POD kind of went by the side for a while. And then I heard about merch by Amazon and applied for that and got that store. And then I got all interested again in POD.
Yeah.
And then from all the merch groups, that's how I discovered KDP and started uploading books for KDP. So that's kind of how I ended up doing this.
I never knew that, Cindy, by the way. And I just like, it's always, I find it like very entertaining because like I enjoy this part of it, like the story and stuff like that, because technically you were here like before me. You're kind of old school with it, right? And I feel like I can learn something from you, right? So this is really cool. And obviously we can all learn something from you. And I think that's amazing because Cafe Press, like you go on Cafe Press now, it's like, it's okay. It's all right. It's not all that no more.
I still make a handful of money every month off Cafe Press, and I haven't touched it in a decade. You know, I still get, I mean, not a lot. It's 2 digits, but it's free money and I don't have to do anything and it comes in every month. So, and for Zazzle too, I haven't uploaded anything to Zazzle in probably a decade either. And I still get money from them.
Well, there was a point where Cafe Press at one time was at the top, right? And it was like
they were at the top, and they, I think they made a huge mistake when they changed their compensation policy, the way they paid you. Because before you could set the amount you wanted, like say, I want $2 for this t-shirt. every
Yeah.
time this t-shirt says I want $2. And then they change it. So if the person went directly to your store inside Cafe Press and bought it, you get the $2. But if
Yeah.
they bought it searching in Cafe Press, you get like 20 cents. And
No.
that's when I said, I'm out. I'm never putting anything up again on Cafe Press. It's not worth my time.
Yeah.
And that's when I started focusing on Zazzle. But yeah, at the time, Cafe Press was at the top.
Yeah. No, and then just going forward, KDP is like, I feel it's a better opportunity, me personally, than merch. And how like how did that get started with KDP? Like, what was the journey behind that, and what did you do? Like, did you take your t-shirt design and put it over on a KDP book, or what'd you do right there?
I
Got that
did.
started.
I did at
Okay.
the very beginning. When I first found out about, of course, I joined all the KDP groups and to try to learn what to do. And there was
Yeah.
a bunch of these so-called gurus
Hmm.
telling you to take your t-shirt design, slap that on a cover, and put it on a line journal.
Yeah.
And you can guess how well that went. Yeah, crickets.
Okay.
So I'm like, this is not going to work very well. So then I started, because I've used Photoshop for, well, also since the 90s, I know how to use Photoshop. So I created a highly targeted sort of an interior design
Mm-hmm.
page. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to cut and paste this 100 times. So I
Yeah.
created a tool to do that for me using my software background to do that for me automatically. I just put it in, I drag it in, and boom, now I've got 100 pages with that one page. That's
Okay.
kind of how my Ojudo business started, was
Okay.
from that. But and so I started evolving and learning what does sell and doesn't sell. So the highly targeted book that I created,
Uh-huh.
it sold like that first week. So I'm like, okay, I'm onto something here. Now I'm getting
Yeah.
sales. This is what you need to do. And I still didn't have the cover thing down right because I had taken a design from a t-shirt and just stuck it on the cover.
Yeah.
And it was still selling, but then
Mm-hmm.
I've learned from that, how to make my covers better, how to make them more attractive, how to make them stand out to get more sales.
And it's interesting that you say that too, but because I feel like your t-shirt design can work on a cover of a book, right? Because it can make people laugh, right? And it makes it
Yeah,
entertaining to have that type of book, right? But the interior is like, it plays a big role, right? Of who you're targeting and stuff like that, and also to creating less competition for yourself. And I think it's a big thing. And I just because you
exactly.
put your t-shirt design on a cover, but you have a unique interior, and your audience thinks the cover's funny, it's like boom, it's a sell, right?
Yeah, exactly. And the key is like we were talking about on Clubhouse the other day, the key is your customer avatar and knowing exactly who it is that you've created this book for. Because you're
Yeah.
going to know what resonates with them. You're going to know what they find funny and what
Mhm.
they're going to be attracted to for your cover. But you're also going to know how to create that interior that's going to help them do whatever it is that they do. And
Yeah.
there's the key. There's the
All
key.
right. So what is your favorite thing to do with KDP? Like, out of everything that you've done so far, what's the funnest thing that
Yeah,
entertains you
I
when
know
you're doing
you love coloring books. I
it?
don't like doing coloring books.
Yeah.
I That's not my thing. So I think everyone needs to find what is their thing. What is the thing that they like doing? I like creating books that help people solve problems.
Mhm.
So I've been getting more into creating more sort of medium content type books where
Yeah.
you you give people instructions on how to do whatever it is they're doing. Like you were talking about soap making the other day. So using that example, you would have what it's called front manner pages that go and tell people how to make different
Yeah.
types of soaps, how to use essential oils. Yeah, I don't know anything about soap making, but how to use essential oils, how to put flowers inside of them. I don't know, whatever it is that you do with soap making. But and then you have maybe in fact different types of soap making. So if you want to make them with essential oils, here's how to do that. And here's some pages to help you track you doing
Mhm.
that. And here's some on using different types of soap. I mean, like I said, I don't really know,
Yeah.
know how to do soap,
No.
but
Uh-huh.
to show them all the different types of things you can do in making soap, and you make a book like that, that provides lots of value to people
Mhm.
who don't know anything about it but want to get into, say, the soap making business.
Yeah.
And then as an added value to you, you can take all of those how-to pages and stick them together in an ebook and
Mhm.
put that up on Kindle Unlimited and link to your physical book with
Yeah.
pages that help them keep track of the soap making experiences that they've had, for example, and put that on Kindle Unlimited. And a lot of people will borrow it for free, see your other book, and then go buy your other book. So it's almost like free advertising for your other book. Plus you get money when they read pages inside that book from
Nice.
Kindle Unlimited.
I haven't even touched that at all, and I'm pretty sure there's some good insight that you can share with us about that. You, I, it's crazy because you said that you don't like really don't know nothing about like soap making. I really don't know too much about it neither, but when I started learning about it, right? Once you start, that's great because we have everything at our fingertips right now, right? Just because you
Right.
don't know nothing about it doesn't mean you can't learn about it, right? You can literally learn how to create a soap interior book or
Mm-hmm.
interior today. Like if you just took the time to go do the research and start searching
Yeah,
online
exactly.
and seeing what's going on, right?
Exactly. It's all, because the books, the people that do 10% more work are 90% more successful than everyone else. So if you actually spend the time to dive deep into whatever niche it is you're trying to create for, and
Mhm.
you get inside it, you learn about it, you Google it, how do you do that? Okay, what problems do people have? How can I help these problems? Get in groups and talk with the people about the problems they have and the types of things that they wish they knew more about. And that gives you the insight and the knowledge you need to go forward and create very successful books in that niche, because you're going to know
Yeah.
exactly what these people want.
It's an amazing time we live in right now. Really awesome.
Oh, it is.
uh,
It is.
the KDP, I mean the Kindle Unlimited part. Have you used that strategy before, where you link it to your
I
your
have.
paperback? Okay. Is
I
it
have.
how's
I
that
have
work?
done
How's that
that.
working out for you? How's that work out
It's
for
been
you?
working good because you'll see. I like using Book Report. So
Yeah.
you'll see on Book Report that you have people reading the pages of that book. It
Mhm.
shows up how many pages they read, so you'll know that people borrowed the book and they're reading the book. And
Yeah.
then a couple days later, you'll see a sale for the paperback that you have talked about in that book. Because
Yeah.
the great thing about the ebooks is you can actually include links. So you can include a link that all they have to do is click on it, and it poof, it pops up your book, and then it makes it super easy for them to purchase it,
Hmm.
for example.
Interesting, because
And you
you're
can,
lever. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I would just say, you can also use that to create lead magnets on your website for that niche and collect their people's email addresses, because you you don't get their email addresses from Amazon, of course, but you can. Gives you a way where they can click, get something that's useful to them, and you get their email address.
That's very powerful because it's like and it's easy because you're kind of like getting two parts of the customer, right? You're getting the ebook customer, and then you're getting the paperback like converting them over into a paperback customer, which is helping the book rank more on Amazon.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
crazy. Uh,
Exactly. I think it's a wonderful strategy for people to use. It's great. It does require
uh,
a little bit more work, because you do have to research and find out all this great information that you can share with the people in that niche, but it's well worth it in the end, because you're providing value, and people are gonna love that, and they're gonna eat that up, and then they're gonna buy everything you have.
okay. So as a beginner, if you took an approach to KDP right now, how would you start?
I would not create a single line journal.
Mhm.
Um, I think there's that market is completely saturated right now. Don't waste your time doing that. I mean, I still see some people advocating people go put up 10 to 100 of those just to get started. And I think you're wasting your time. Don't do that. Instead, I would start with something that you know, something that you're passionate about, something you have a lot of experience about, or perhaps something you want to learn more about. Like maybe you want to go learn about soap making. Maybe that's a hobby you want to get into. And use the knowledge that you have to help you create books to help other people in that niche be successful and reach their goals.
Yeah. That's the thing too as well. Like creating, if someone's having a problem and you're creating the solution for it in the book, it's an easy way to make a sale. And I think that pretty much applies to anything, right?
Yeah,
If you figure
definitely.
that out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. No matter what business you're in, that applies.
Yeah, no, I think it's a really amazing. Like that's at the very beginning too. I did that where I put over like 1,000 books up in a week, and that's when they put the limit on how many books you can upload in a week. But I did that at the beginning, put all my t-shirt designs up on the covers, and it's like, dude, I have like 3,000 books up, and I'm only making like 2 sales from them. I was like, this doesn't work. Doesn't make no sense. Can I go back and delete all those, please? I want to do this
Yeah,
again.
you can't delete them. You can unpublish them, but they never go away.
But the crazy thing is, though, is just like you can see like self-awareness, right? If you see that and it's not working, there's obviously something wrong with it. So you can fix it. It's not too late to, you know what I mean, to like fix it, because you're
Yeah, and
wasting your
actually,
time. It feels like.
you can always go edit the covers and the interior of any of those books of any of those thousands of books you already have right now, and turn it into something more useful if
Yeah.
you don't want to, or just keep putting up new books. Either way.
All right. With KDP, what's the biggest struggle that you have had so far?
Probably my biggest struggle is focusing on one thing.
Yeah.
Because I have just way too many ideas of, I have a whole list of different books I want to do. So for me, it's like, okay, which one do I want to do first? Which one do I think is going to be most successful? And just sitting down and doing the one thing and not jumping all over, because it's really easy to jump all over. Just focusing and getting all the way through one book before I start another one.
That's a kind of like I think that's like the shiny object syndrome when it comes to individual, right?
And look, the squirrel.
Yeah. we all do that, but I think it's just because of the creative mindset, right? You get so excited to work on one thing, and then you go over to another, and then another. You're like, wait up, I didn't finish this one thing. I gotta go back and finish this.
It's a great idea. Oh, this is a great idea.
No, so I kind of I thought about it right now. I can't ask you about the biggest struggle that I asked you about the biggest struggle that you had. What's the biggest accomplishment that you have had?
I think getting the ebook to go with the medium content book, and figuring that all out and getting that stuff to become really good. That like getting the little new bestseller check mark thing, the little badge that says, hey, that's always exciting awesome when you see that. Like, yes, I nailed it. I got the bestseller thing. I think that's always fun when you see that.
Yeah, that's I think that's really cool, because it's like a big, like, you feel good inside, right? And you're like, I can create another one of these. I know it. And I think it's really, really cool when it comes to that stuff. Are you running any AMS ads to any of your books at all?
I have been taking just this year, because I being the engineer, I want to learn everything about something before I start spending my money. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing a lot of research into the sort of best practices for it. Mm-hmm. And I've been taking my best-selling books and doing ads on those.
Yeah.
And I have seen an increase in the sales for those books. So I must be doing something right, because it does seem to be driving more books to being sold.
Yeah, that's interesting, because it's just I feel like sometimes, though, it's like a little bit off. It doesn't track it. I'm like, why is this book selling?
No, it doesn't track it right.
Yeah, it gets irritates me. I'm like,
oh. Yeah, because that's why I ignore their numbers and look at the book report, because I'm like, well, I'm seeing a bunch of sales for this book. They're saying we sold 2 from the ads. But I'm like, okay, well, whatever. It's supposed to be working, because I'm selling a lot of these books now.
Do you do you keep it running after it makes sales and stuff like that? What's your
right now I the ones I have up right now, I have run forever on them, because they seem to have been working well. But at the beginning, I kind of want to test it out for a couple of weeks to make sure that it's not costing me too much money or not getting me any sales. And once I'm confident that it's like at the sweet spot where I'm not spending a lot of money but getting a lot of sales, then I just turned it on for forever and just leave it. And I check it every so often just to make sure I'm not getting, a bunch of going over my budget and stuff like that that I want.
Your top selling book on your account, how many reviews does it have, if you don't mind me asking?
I am not a go look at reviewers person.
No, you're not.
I probably should. I actually have no idea, because I probably should, so I can maybe go look and fix the problems. But I know I have reviews. I know most of them are good, because occasionally I will look, but I really have no idea how many how many it has. I don't know.
Like when it comes to reviews, I see some people in the community like, this person gave me a bad review because like the printing wasn't correct or something like that. And it's like, what can I do to fix it? There's nothing you can do to fix it. You just gotta, leave it up there and hope for the best. Make a part 2 of it or something. Any strategies when it comes to, let's say you have a top selling book in a niche, right?
Uh-huh.
What's the strategy behind that? Do you create more in that niche to make more sales, or what's the idea behind that?
I do. So when I find that I seem to have nailed the one book, then I take the ideas from that book and try to create maybe different types of books in that particular niche. So if I did a logbook that was really
Mm-hmm.
successful and I know what it was and that kind of resonated with the target audience,
Mm-hmm.
then I could maybe go and create a planner for
Yeah.
that same niche. So try to create different types of low content books for the same particular niche.
Okay.
There are some people that like to take the same interior and then just slap another cover on it.
Yeah.
I don't really recommend that. I recommend you find maybe a sub niche to target. And then, so for example, if you're doing preschool moms, and you had a generic preschool mom book, then you could
Yeah.
niche that down by doing a preschool mom for a boys book and
Mm-hmm.
then make your cover of that. But then also go look at your text and how can you, instead of having child, switch it to boy or, something like that. So
Mm-hmm.
that your interior reflects this sub niche that your cover is talking about. That's another
Okay.
way you can further nail that niche.
Yeah. You also too. I think it's just, yeah, because you get like a ton of data from that book selling already, and I think one of the biggest mistakes
Mhm.
people make is when because I've made it myself too personally. This is why I say it. You see like a book selling over and over, and you're getting a ton of data, right? And you're seeing that it's like there's a demand in this niche for this book. At that
Mhm.
point, you're like in competition with yourself, and you're like, okay, now how can I beat myself by making an even better book? And one of the ways I recommend is looking at reviews and seeing what they're saying and what you can do to be better than yourself.
Yeah, that's true. And also start thinking about building a brand for that niche
Okay.
so that you create books that are different enough that the same person is going to want to buy all of the books that you're creating for that particular niche.
Yeah. Okay. Because you said something about book report. Is that similar to like the author central kind of part of it?
It's a third party website that I just like the way it displays the data, the
Mhm.
KDP book selling data.
Yeah.
It has a lot of nice features and it's free until you have, I forget how, like 1,000 books a month. I forget what the number. It's free for
Yeah.
up to a certain amount
Yeah.
per month, and then they start charging you for it. But I think it's just bookreport.com.
Okay.
Um, I can double check that.
Okay. And then what do you author central have you made any like brands back there and stuff like that with author
Yeah,
central? And
I have. It's called getbookreport.com, by the way.
okay.
So if you just type that in, it'll go to it. I do. I have a number of different Author Central accounts related to a couple different brands. I have
Okay.
websites for those brands. One of the fun things about Author Central is that you can pull in those web posts, so it'll show your blog posts in your Author Central if you connect up your website to it. So that's kind of a fun feature that they have. And it also pulls all your books together. So people who liked your one book can maybe go and buy another one of your books in that same niche.
Yeah.
So I really recommend doing the Author Central.
Yeah, Author Central is really cool. Like I never knew about it the first like 3 months, and I was like, dude, where's this been the whole time? It's like it's a really amazing hunt, and I think it's underutilized where it's so much information, so much value back there, and you can just track everything. It's easier like on your brain, right? Instead of going all over the place and looking here and looking there, you just go to Author Central,
Yeah,
and they'll give you a ton of
yeah,
information.
yeah. It's a great resource that KDP offers for its authors. Definitely
Yeah.
use it.
All right. Any tips that you would like to share with anybody watching this video? Anything to add to what you
Probably
already add to what you already added to?
Probably my number one tip is everybody's always asking about keywords. So
Hmm.
I think one of the reason a lot of people have trouble coming up with keywords is because they don't know who they created their book for. They don't know what purpose their book serves. And so they're just trying to find an audience that will buy this book. So
Yeah,
they're approaching it sort of backwards.
yeah,
So I recommend you flip that on the other flip that around, and before you ever start creating a book, identify exactly who it is that I'm
Mhm.
creating this book for. That's your customer avatar. And why is it that anyone would want to buy this book?
Yeah.
And if you once you figure that out, it makes it so much easier to come up with keywords, because then you're inside the mind of the person who's going to buy your book, and you're going to better be able to figure out what they're going to type to
Yeah.
search for your book.
I 100% agree with you right there. It makes it so much easier when you understand who you're targeting and who you're creating the book for, because you have a better insight of everything, right? And it's so, and then you
Yeah,
know why you made the sale. Like, that's why I made the sale, because I'm targeting this person and I know what they want. So, no,
exactly.
Cindy, where can people follow you?
You can join my Strategies for Profitable Low Content Books group on Facebook. And I have a website called adudu.com, AUDUDU,
Mhm.
which provides tools to help low content book creators create their books. So we have puzzle tools, ledger tools, planner tools, a bunch of resources. So you can download like transparent ping guides for your covers and your interiors, and merge PDFs together. There's so many things on there. I can't even list them
Yeah.
all. But if you use coupon code Cindy, it'll get
Uh,
10% off if you want to try it out.
Okay. All right. I think that's going to do it. Make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up if you guys got any value out of it, of course. And then please check out my next videos up here. Thank you.